Well, it's been a long time, but I'm finally here to make a video, kind of just something kind of short. I wanted to talk about E3 as a whole. Um, Instead of making individual videos for each press conference, I'm kind of gonna talk about them all in one big video, and then kind of work on it from there. So let's talk with the clear losers because I have the least to say about them. First of all, I want to say out of the like 12 press conferences there were, I only watched the major ones. So I will, yeah, so I didn't watch Tiny Build. If they actually had a press conference, I'm not sure. I didn't watch Devolver Digital, didn't watch Upload VR, didn't watch the PC Gaming Show or Limited Run. But I did watch Nintendo, Square, Ubisoft, and Microsoft, and Bethesda, of course. Didn't even watch EA's. If EA had one, I'm not even sure if they did. Anyway, so they're the clear losers if they had one. Like, just on principle, EA, you fucked up. However, I will say that the new Star Wars game does not look that bad. It actually looks really interesting and reminds me a lot of The Force Unleashed, which is my personal favorite Star Wars game. So I think that's like a solid. Like I think that keeps EA from being the worst press conference. But it's kind of in this weird tie right now with Bethesda and Ubisoft because there's not a lot for me to say about Bethesda and Ubisoft. I still think Bethesda had a better press conference than Ubisoft, but it just wasn't good. Because here's the thing, Ubisoft blew all of their good stuff like immediately. Like the new Watch Dogs game looks really interesting. Like it looks unique, it looks fun. It was a funny trailer and it looked really cool. It looked like a genuinely interesting game and something we've never really seen before. And so I think that was probably the most interesting part out of all of this. Um but then we started getting into some of the other stuff and it was like it just started to suck, you know? Like it was so boring. I didn't care. They started doing all this Tom Clancy shit that I just don't care about. Honestly, like I can't tell you what happened in that Ubisoft press conference, which is a shame because I was just talking to a friend about how the thing about Ubisoft press conferences is they're never boring. There's always some dumb shit going on, right? But this time there wasn't. It was really boring even when they pulled out their Just Dance stuff. And apparently they copyright striked pretty much everyone who was streaming. So on principle, fuck Ubisoft. On the other hand, there's Bethesda, who, don't get me wrong, didn't have a solid press conference. It wasn't as good as last year's, and to be fair, retrospectively, last year's also wasn't that good now that we know how some of these projects have turned out. But it was still solid back then within context, so I'm going to keep saying it's solid. And this press conference remains solid. It's just not good. You know what I mean? First of all, a lot of people complained about how Fallout 76, how they made like a really big deal about bringing NPCs into the game. And don't get me wrong, I absolutely agree that should have been in there from the start of the game. But we need to acknowledge that Bethesda screwed this up really badly, and now they are taking steps to make Fallout 76 the game it should have been at launch. Do I agree with the fact that this is how they're doing it? No, I don't. But I don't think that means that this is necessarily bad. I think that that is a super, super great thing. They're, going to be continuing this and having continuing storylines on these online games instead of just shitting them out and then fixing all the bugs and then leaving. I think it's nice that they're going to stick with Fallout, and I think we need to just give them props for that, although we also still need to criticize just how badly they screwed up. In other Fallout news, a Battle Royale game. I'm not big on the Battle Royale games there are now, mostly because none of them are interesting. You know what I mean? Every time I'd play a game of Fortnite, it was the same game over and over and over and over and over. Nothing changed. And it was never fun. You know what I mean? Same goes with PUBG. Like, nothing really changes because there's not, like, a class system or there's not, different environmental factors that can come in. People don't talk about this game, but Ring of Elysium is an interesting battle royale in my opinion. It's where you're in like a snowy place and the goal, like it has a somewhat plot to it. So I think battle royales like that are so much more interesting, and they do have like packs or whatever that you choose and then like character slots. So I think that's super interesting. So there's that. Another really big one was the Ghostwire, I think it was called. I don't remember what some of these are called. I didn't set up a lot before starting recording because I just finished watching the Nintendo press conference about like 15 minutes ago. So I just wanted to get over here and record stuff. And I gotta say, it looked really interesting. The very sweet Japanese lady, she was very sweet, a very nice lady. She seemed very passionate about what she did, so that much I can appreciate. From there, Bethesda's press conference kind of starts to dip down in quality. They start talking about their mobile games, and I'm not big on them. Commander Keen it looks like a cheap cash grab. Sorry, I know people, work hard on these games, but they just don't appeal to me. And then they started talking about Wolfenstein, and, that was cool, but those were things we already knew about. And then they started talking about Doom Eternal, and they showed off Doom Eternal, and that was where the press conference really picked up for me, and then I just saw it as, like, a decent press conference. But, like, overall, it was kind of a loser press conference. It wasn't great. So now we get into the, like, middle spectrum, and that was Microsoft's, because it was a little more broad. Microsoft had a solid E3. It wasn't amazing, but it was solid. Sorry. Cyberpunk was a great way to kick things off. Keanu Reeves is in this game. It looks really cool. It looks really interesting. And it looks fun, and I'm excited to learn more about it. Keanu Reeves came on stage. It was a solid press conference. Just for that reason alone. But genuinely, it was really cool. Like, that's the best way I can put it. It was just a really, really cool press conference. There were a lot of weird, sort of, like, artsy games that I thought were really interesting, and artsy games are really my kind of thing. So this Microsoft press conference was pretty solid in that regard, but it also just had some stuff I didn't care about, like Gears of War. I've never played Gears of War. I'm not interested in Gears of War. Dying Light 2 looks whatever. We got a cinematic trailer for it. I'll get back to Dying Light later. Like, that was the thing. Microsoft just had a lot of cinematic trailers. Ori and the Will of Wisps looks fucking fantastic. It looks phenomenal. I loved Ori and the Blind Forest. I never finished it. I've just played it, and what I played, I loved, and I love Ori, and I'm going to get it on my computer soon. And anyway, moving on. So the two winners, the people who I think did absolutely solid press conferences, were Nintendo and Square. The way that I usually tell if a press conference is like 100% solid is if I don't skip a lot of stuff. Because sometimes I don't end up watching live. Sometimes I'll watch like a couple minutes behind. And if you have a really boring press conference, I will skip a bunch of your shit. I skipped a lot of Ubisoft. Like, I sat there waiting for something interesting to happen, and then I just skip, Like, it just never got interesting, and Square and Nintendo didn't really have any points of that for me. Square had, like, one, and I don't even I think it was during that, like, indies showcase that they had, where they were, like, the top-down racer and the, like, weird indie Call of Duty game. I skipped through that because I didn't really care about that too much, but Square genuinely blew it out of the park this time. Kingdom Hearts 3 DLC, heard Kingdom Hearts 3 was ass, but whatever. I'm going to get to the most important part in a minute. Dying Light 2, we actually got gameplay. It looks solid. It looks cool. Whatever. Not my thing, but, still cool. Final Fantasy 14 stuff. I wish my computer could handle Final Fantasy 14. It really can't, so that sucks. Let's see. There were like a couple. It was just like, it was solid. You know what I mean? There was the new Life is Strange trailer or whatever. That was fine. And then there was the 8 remaster announcement. That was cool. I'm glad 8 is finally getting some love. Never played 8, but I'm very interested in it. Just really cool. And it was a solid press conference. Like, I can't really definitively say it was the best press conference, but it was super solid. Like, it was really, really good. Dragon Quest Builders was cool. Not gonna get it, but it was cool. I'm sad Octopath is coming to PC, because that was, like, our cool Switch exclusive. But whatever. So then, let's now talk about the most important part of Square's entire presentation, and perhaps one of the most important parts of the entire presentations as a whole. The Final Fantasy VII Remake stuff. My god, this game looks phenomenal. I have been terrified for like 5 years now at just the thought nagging at me that, oh, this game isn't going to come out, or, oh, if it does, it's going to be a cheap cash grab, it's not going to be fun, it's not going to be good, it's ba 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 ba. And then in March, or whenever it was, they dropped that trailer, and I was hooked. I was so sold when I saw that they had English lip sync in a Japanese RPG. That was when I knew they were putting so much passion into this game. English fucking lip sync. No other RPG that I can think of has English lip sync these days. Alright? It's wild to me. It is so wild. It's amazing. The new monster redesigns are awesome. They look so beautiful. They've shown off that guard scorpion in every trailer. It's like a fucking requirement. I'm so excited that it's only 2 discs. And it's coming out March 3rd, 2020. Oh my god! March 3rd, 2020. I will have a PS4 by then. I can actually get this video game. It looks fantastic. Aerith is beautiful. I remember crying when I watched that trailer in, I think it was March. I remember sitting there, or maybe it was April. I remember just sitting there and just like crying because Aerith is so beautiful. Like, it's this moment of like harshness as I realize, god damn it, I'm gonna get attached to her now. Like, I didn't get attached to Aerith initially, and maybe that's because I knew of her fate, but I just didn't like Aerith. But this new Aerith that they're kind of portraying, I'm really hooked on. And I almost thought that she would become best girl. And then Tifa showed up again, and I knew. Tifa and Cloud's romance is subtly implied throughout the entire trailer when they're together. It's amazing. She looks beautiful. She's perfect. I love Tifa so much. I'm so excited. I can't even stress how excited I am that we were right when Square was like, we're going to expand the Midgar section, so all of Midgar is going to take up to, 1 game, and then the rest of the game is going to be these other 2 parts. And I think that's really great, because for me, Final Fantasy VII, like the opening hour and a half or so of the game, not necessarily all of Midgar, but like the blowing up of the reactor and all that sort of stuff, and like Don Corneo's mansion, all the way up until Shinra blows up the plate and crushes Midgar, and like crushes that section of Midgar. That's all a really solid game. I think that is a really good part. The remaining part of Midgar, for me, is kind of a drag, because it's just wandering around, and it's meandering, and it takes forever, and that's why I don't like to replay Final Fantasy VII often, because it's just like, for me, I hate going through that part of Midgard. But if they really expand on it and make it look good, and it looks like it's going to be good, and I hope it's really good. And, I mean, it is going to end with everybody looking out over the plateau like they did at the end of the motorcycle sequence, and they're going to look out over, and you'll see Junon, you'll see something else, you might even see Mount Nibble, like, you'll see so many cool things. I can't even stress how excited I am for this. Like, this is going to take over my life when it comes out. Speaking of things that have taken over my life, it's time to talk about Nintendo, who clearly won. Last year it was arguable if Nintendo won, because it's like, if you're a Smash Brothers fan, Nintendo won last year. But if you're not really a Smash Brothers fan, did Nintendo really win, This year Nintendo won. This year was really, really solid. There were a lot of really cool announcements, a lot of announcements I personally didn't care about, but that's not up to me. It's not up to me to decide what's interesting. It's up to me to just sit down and be like, this is what I saw, this is what I liked. First thing, right off the bat, the Luigi's Mansion stuff. I've never played the original Luigi's Mansion, and I've played like 2 minutes of Dark Moon. But I had fun. So I might pick this game up. I'm not sure yet, but it has a really interesting premise. This premise of Luigi goes to the hotel with all his friends and his buddies, and then all of a sudden shit goes wild. I love it. 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 It looks fantastic. Speaking of fantastic, new Animal Crossing game. I am so glad they delayed this to 2020. I know that's really mean and fucked up, but it's the thing about it is I don't have any more room in my 2019 schedule for this game. If the game didn't come out this summer, I was not going to have time to pick up this game. But the thing about it is now it's coming out next April or next March. Like, it's coming out really, really soon after the turn of the year, and that's fine with me, because it's not like they delayed it a super long time. With Fire Emblem, it's the same thing. They delayed it like a year later, but it wasn't that long into the year that they delayed it. So it's fine. It's really, really solid. It looks awesome. The thing of it is the fact is, you go and you just settle a deserted island. That is the best part. That is so cool. You just move around, do your thing, and it looks great. I will say they need to work on the shading, but because it's not coming out for another, like, I don't know, like 8 months, I'm not worried about it. It's good. It's really good. Oh man, Astral Chain. I don't have a lot to say about this game because I don't really care. It looks interesting. It kind of reminds me of Xenoblade 2, which is cool. It's really cool. It's really, really cool. It looks cool. That's all I can really say. And before we move on, I didn't talk about the Avengers game from Square. I'm not an Avengers fan. The MCU has really killed all my hype for, like, anything Avengers. Like, it mentally drains me to talk about superhero films because it's either we talk about the bad DC films or the, like, 2 good ones / 1 mediocre one, or we talk about Marvel movies, which I don't really like to talk about because they all feel the same to me and they all drain me and I have fatigue. So I wasn't big on this Avengers game. It looks fine. Troy Baker and Nolan North are in it, and so is Laura Bailey. So those guys are fantastic talent. So I think it's going to be a solid game no matter what. It's just up to us to decide whether or not it's going to be good. I like it. I'm really excited for it. Not really excited, but I'm excited to look at it. I'm excited to see where it goes. So, anyway, moving back to Nintendo's presentation, let's talk about the first Smash reveal, because that's the one I cared about the least. The hero from Dragon Quest. I've never played Dragon Quest, and I don't particularly feel inclined to play Dragon Quest. Like, it doesn't matter to me. I don't really care. However, that was a really good reveal, because he looks interesting. He looks like a better Robin, which, Robin is my baby. I mained Robin back in Smash 4. I eventually dropped him for Shulk after I played Xenoblade, and he was still kind of just there for me in Smash 4. In Ultimate, I can't play Robin for the life of me. Like, he just feels gross to play, and it sucks, and I can't really play Robin, but he is the most unique of the Fire Emblems. And it makes me really sad, but I understand why I can't play him anymore. Like, he doesn't feel good to me. He doesn't have a solid kit because his stuff is constantly breaking and needs to be repaired, which I think is really stupid, but whatever. Regardless, Robin has too many weaknesses that we won't get into. But this Dragon Quest thing, the hero looks great. You have the new hero, and then you have some of the old heroes as costumes. Like, it looks really cool. This is the closest we're ever getting to Goku, so everyone can shut the hell up about Goku now. So I just gotta say, that was really cool. Like, I don't particularly care. However, he is coming out this summer, so I will get a chance to play him this summer. And we'll see how he plays. Maybe I'll like him a little bit. I'm not really sure. Before we get to the actual thing that I care about, the actual character reveal, and then the big thing that happened afterwards, let's talk about some of the other stuff. Spyro's coming to Switch. That's really cool. I like the Spyro Remastered Trilogy. The Witcher 3 is coming to Switch. What the fuck? Can the Switch even handle this game? Does it deserve to be on Switch? I think so. It's an open world game. I think it deserves to be on Switch. But it's like there's so many different variables, you know what I mean? And so I don't know. This E3, it felt really solid to me. And there are a lot of things I can't even really remember. Like, there's just so much going on in my brain right now. But I'm trying my best to remember everything. And there's a lot of really cool stuff coming. I gotta say, I am sad. There wasn't any talk about the Persona 5 Scramble game. I'm not interested in it whatsoever. Like, I do not give a shit about that game. But the reason is, at least it would have been something Persona. As someone who has just recently started Persona 5, I'm on the 3rd Palace, I really want to see these other Persona games come to Switch, and I'm really glad that I decided to buy Persona 5 when I did, because originally I was planning on waiting until E3 before I decided to buy it on my PS3. I was planning on waiting till E3 to see if it was coming to Switch at all. And ultimately, I'm glad I didn't wait, because that means I would have been really behind and I wouldn't have any time to do anything. So I'm glad I ended up buying the game when I did. So, it's fantastic. I love it. Moving on to some other stuff. Link's Awakening. I was not sold on this game initially. During the February Direct, I saw it. I was like, that's cool. I don't know if I'm going to get it. I'm still kind of on the fence. I'm going to get it. I just don't know how I feel about it. Like, it's hard for me to express the feelings about the art style, because when I saw that initial trailer and I saw that, like, animated intro, my mind immediately went to A Link Between Worlds, which is my favorite Zelda game and, like, one of my top 5 favorite games of all time. It's fantastic. It is the better Link to the Past. And it's so good. And it just kind of, like, I don't know. I don't know. I feel betrayed. But not like Nintendo owes me anything. Like, don't get me wrong. Nintendo doesn't owe me shit. But what I mean is, like, I feel betrayed not because Nintendo owes me, but because I let my own mind get the better of me for the sake of this Direct. So it's like, I don't really care. It's whatever. But now I am interested, and so it looks solid. While I'm here, before we get to the 2 things I really want to talk about, I'm going to talk about the Mario Maker and the Pokemon Directs real quick, because I didn't talk about those ever. Mario Maker looks solid. There are a few things that I have issues with. You can't search online for parties with your friends, but whatever. The car looks cool. It looks fun. You know, I like Mario Maker. I don't have Nintendo Online yet, but maybe I'll get it soon. If I get Mario Maker, I absolutely will. And then Pokemon. I'm still not 100% sold on this game. And I feel like that's because I've been burned by Sun and Moon. Sun and Moon are not my favorite Pokemon games. I don't really like them. I would go as far as to say they are my least favorite Pokemon games. And that's because they are hand-holdy and they're boring to me. Like, I have no inclination to go replay Sun and Moon. I have great memories of playing Sun and Moon, specifically Moon. I have great memories of that because it was a very specific time in my life where I could still play video games and work on schoolwork. Like, I was at a good point in my life where I could play that game and everything was fine. Things have changed a little now. There's a lot more stress involved. And so it's just like, I don't know if I'm in the right headspace to play Pokemon games. Because that's the thing about me, is I have to be in a headspace to play a Pokemon game. But once I'm in that headspace, I'm bam, 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 bam. I will never stop playing that game. I will never stop. I'll just keep going. Faster, faster, faster. More, until suddenly I'm at the end of the game. And I'm like, well, here I am. So that's where I'm at right now with the Pokemon game. The new Direct definitely sold me on it more than the initial trailers did. Corviknight looks cool. The new Water-type gym leader is genuinely really cool looking. She looks awesome. Nessa, she looks really interesting. Everyone looks interesting. I like it. Okay, let's talk about the 3 things I really want to talk about. First thing, the thing we have the least information about, the Breath of the Wild sequel. Holy shit, I could yell about this game for hours. One of the big things in my mind after Breath of the Wild that I thought was, you know what would be really fucking sick? If we got Breath of the Wild, Majora's Mask. Like a Breath of the Wild game set in Termina, like somewhere creepy, something weird, something absolutely bizarre. And this new trailer genuinely made me uncomfortable. Like, it didn't feel like Zelda to me. A lot of people, like, the second they saw it, they were like, oh, this is Breath of the Wild. Not me. I was like, is this fucking Bayonetta? Like, I couldn't recognize it as Zelda because it wasn't cheery. And, like, that's something that I like when Nintendo goes somewhere with Zelda that's interesting. And I like it. Zelda looks really cute with that short hair. All of it just looks so good. And the music and everything. And it looks amazing. And I'm so excited about this game. I'm ecstatic for it. It's awesome. Genuinely. Fire Emblem. I'm on the hype train. I'm genuinely on the hype train now. I was not on the hype train when I thought it was just a game about school people, and I was like, wow, this fucking sucks. But the newest trailer has revealed there's going to be a time skip at some point, which makes me very, 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 very happy, because high school sucks, and I don't want to play a video game of Magic High School. I don't care. But with this time skip, it looks really, really interesting. There's a lot to do with time. And it just looks solid, and I'm actually excited to see these dynamics, and I'm excited for everything. Like, this is the excitement I've been looking for this game. I was not excited for this game up until now, and now I'm really excited, and I'm probably going to get it because it's like right after my birthday. So I'm definitely going to pick up this game for sure, 100%. I'm very excited about this game. And now, to the final thing I want to talk about, Banjo and Kazooie! I am so excited about Banjo. I don't even have words. The second that fucking puzzle piece darted across the... Okay, first of all, that is one of my favorite reveal trailers of all time. My favorite right now is K. Rool's, because the thing about it, quickly, K. Rool's is really interesting because it shows off all the villains, and then you see DK, and then you know it's going to be K. Rool, and then the funny DDD gag, and then K. Rool shows up, and then the music, the fucking music in K. Rool's trailer. It is a phenomenal trailer from start to finish. I love it. I love it. I love it. Joker's trailer doesn't fall that far behind, but it's still a little behind. It's still really good. This one blows that shit out of the water. It is fantastic. First of all, the same opening as the DK trailer. So I was like, oh my god, it's going to be a villain. Who's going to be the villain? Is it going to be Porky? Is it going to be fucking, who's it going to be? Is it going to be Majora? Who is this villain going to be? Who? And then you see DK again, and I sat there and I said, god damn it, it's going to be that fucking Tropical Freeze kid. And then, that puzzle piece. And I started screaming at the top of my lungs. The level of hype that I felt in that moment when I saw that little gold piece dart across the floor. DK notices it. They wake up K. Rool. First of all, that's a cute dynamic. They're friends now. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it so, so much. And then they look outside and they see Banjo. And like the way K. Rool presses against the window, and it's so cute. And they like break the window. And then it's just Duck Hunt. And then Duck Hunt's laughing is hilarious. It's so cute and charming and charismatic. And I love it. And then Banjo shows up. And then everybody cheers for him. Because that's their buddy. That is their rare buddy. They're like, yes, my guys are in the game now. And he looks beautiful. He looks fantastic. He looks amazing. I'm so happy for Banjo. I'm so happy for people who wanted Banjo. If you want to see some of the coolest shit, look at JonTron's Instagram story right now. Like, oh my god. He pans up from the trailer and everybody's screaming. Because that's the thing. Banjo is what we needed. I said that Ultimate was going to be the definitive Smash Brothers. I genuinely believe Sakurai is done now. He is adding these fan-favorite characters. I called Ridley. I called K. Rool. I called Ken. I called Banjo. Literally, I'm just waiting for Geno. If Geno ends up being a DLC fighter, it is over. It is official. This is the definitive Smash. They could just continue porting this Smash and adding a character or two every year, and I'd be fine. I do not care. This Smash would be the perfect Smash if we got Geno in it. And Cosmos from Xenosaga, please. Please give us Cosmos, and maybe Rex, if you're feeling especially nice. I am just so happy, Like, it feels good to just sit down and be so happy about this. Oh my god, I'm so, so, so excited. I'm so excited for this. I can't even contain myself. I mean, he's coming in fall. That's so close. And we're probably going to get another one in the winter of 2019, like in December, and then we'll get one more in February. So, based on that, since we got Joker in April, I'm going to say we get the Hero in July. We'll probably get Banjo in September. We'll probably get the last one in December, and then we'll get one in February, and then that's it. And, I'd be excited to see an Echo Fighters pack, but, I'm not holding out for that, whatever. I'm so happy that this ended up being a really good Direct, because this E3 kind of scared me. Because Sony's not here, which means I don't get to gush about The Last of Us, and Microsoft had a so-so press conference. It was good, but it wasn't great like last year's was. Objectively, I think it was better than last year's, but whatever. Overall, this was an E3. It had really low lows, but some fan-fucking-tastic highs. Like, Square Enix and Nintendo are on a completely different level for this E3. Like, Microsoft, is what I would say the average E3 is. Like, you know, that's a decent E3. I would like to see more gameplay stuff, but whatever. That is a decent E3. That is a, you know, you get a pass. You get a passing grade, right? That's average. Bethesda, Ubisoft, EA probably. I don't even know if EA had a press conference. I didn't hear anything about it. All got below average, and then Nintendo and Square just absolutely blew it out of the water. They are above average with this. It's fantastic. To say that this is a passion project, to say that this E3 was a masterpiece, like, this E3 was, without a doubt, the best possible E3 it could have been. And that's okay with me, that this E3 was so because that just means that the games industry is becoming and I think that's okay right now, because I want to feel about the games industry the way I feel about the movies industry, where a lot of stuff is going on, but then something interesting happens, usually thanks to someone who's been around for a long time, or someone who has a lot of passion, or maybe is a little newer to this specific part of the scene, you know what I mean? There's just so much that this E3 did, and it's fantastic. This E3 was fantastic, and I can't believe I talked about Nintendo and Square Enix for 20 minutes, and everyone else got mushed in within the 10-minute mark. So, that's fun. So yeah, overall, if I had to give grades, Ubisoft, fucking F, Bethesda, D-, Microsoft, you get a C-, Square Enix gets an A, absolutely, and Nintendo gets an A+. Like, this was just solid all around. I am so happy right now. Nintendo really did save this E3 for me. This was just a really good E3. So yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna go now. Sorry for taking like half an hour of your time. Please put this into the background while you're doing something else. Should have maybe said that at the beginning of the video, but whatever. If you're gonna watch it, have it in the background. There's nothing to see here. And with that said, I'm gonna try my best to upload more this summer. I have some new editing software, new microphone. I'm gonna try my best, but I can't promise you anything because of reasons. Like, I can't promise anything right now. Like I said, I haven't really been feeling it lately. I thought I was feeling it. I deleted a lot of old videos. I deleted some of the newer stuff. Yeah, this was just an amazing E3. This was genuinely a really solid E3. And, yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys had a really great E3. If you liked this weird ranty video, you can leave me a like. If you disliked it, leave me a dislike. Tell me what you think I can improve on. Genuinely, I want to improve this channel before we get moving forward. This summer is, there's going to be like one video at least. I promise you there will be a video in July at least. I promise. And then I have some other announcements that I'll make at a later date. And without further ado, it's the end of the video, and I hope everybody has a great summer, and I can't wait to see you guys later, eventually, and just have a damn good one.